Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Autism Reviews where I review random games that I have played. Today's episode is about I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, based on the short story of the same name. Also, Happy Independence Day for people living in the US. Similar to the short story, it follows five survivors of a fictional World War III and are eternal playthings to a self-aware AI known as Allied Master Computer, or AM for short, one of the most famous and probably oldest AI villains in media. And even if you haven't played this game or read the short story it's based on, you've probably known that M is an inspiration for villains like Ultron, Skynet, and the list goes on. And also, you've probably heard this.
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for humans at this micro-instant. For you, hate, hate.
And AM's hatred for humans is probably why this game is so dark. No, seriously, there is a lot of stuff I have to cut out. The backstories of the five survivors are extremely dark and not YouTube friendly. In fact, this whole game is all not very YouTube friendly. But I'm doing it anyways because I think the game is cool. So, yeah, let's get into this game. Similar to Clock Tower Rewind, which I covered about, I think, 2 weeks ago. Well, this is a point and click adventure game where you click on something and have one of the survivors do like an action. You can pick one of the five survivors. I picked this guy that looks like a monkey. I forgot his name, but you can have him like look at something you click or talk to something you click or eat something you click, although that ends up putting thorns in his mouth, so maybe don't do that. Um, it's simple, but I think the main thing is just the story because you think the survivors are gonna survive, and then, oh, it was just the light at the end of the tunnel and it was fake. Yeah, there's not a lot to this game, but it's simple enough to where I think it works as a good story game. And also, here's a fun fact Am is actually voiced by the author of the original story, Harry and Ellison, which I'm pretty sure I said that right, but I don't really know. So, yeah, not a whole lot to say, but I thought it was nice. But would I recommend I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's not the best game in the world. There's not a whole lot to it, as it's just a simple point and click adventure. But I think it's good enough. It has a bit of a cult following, which is nice, and if you do decide to play, I'll just give you a bit of a warning. There's a lot of graphic stuff in it. Like, what I showed is not even, like, the worst of the game. So yeah, just a little warning there. So yeah, not a whole lot else to say. As for where it goes in the tier list, I'll give it a B tier. It's not the best game, it's not the worst game, but it goes in the upper parts of the tier list because for what it's worth, it tells a good story, and if you're a fan of horror, I'd recommend it. After all, it is kind of the precursor to like pretty much every AI villain ever. And it's kind of ironic that I talked about this, considering that today is America Day, I guess, and you know, some U.S. companies have been further delving deep into AI despite the bubble popping. So yeah, that's fun. Here's to another shitty 250 years. Alright, as for the next game, I will be looking at Meet Your Maker, which is a game developed by the same developers as Dead by Daylight. I have no idea what it's about, but it looks cool and takes up 20 gigabytes of my storage, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. So yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.